Dave knows how.
Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to go over a quick maintenance tip. It's probably a little bit of a secret because none of the manuals address this issue, if you want to call it that. From time to time on most of your tractors that have front wheel assist or what we call four-wheel drive, your front axle will start leaking for various different reasons. One of those reasons is because the front axle is not venting properly. And when the front axle fails to vent properly, pressure builds up in the axle and the fluid will take the path of least resistance and start to seep out around the seals. Typically it'll leak out right around the front, right in here, around one of these seals, and typically it's right at the pivot point for when you're steering. A big problem with the vent tube is it gets clogged up. Little animals, bees and whatnot, will go up inside the little vent tube and try to build a nest, and they'll put mud and dirt and everything else in there, and next thing you know, the thing is clogged up and it can't breathe and your front axle can't vent properly. So we need to clean that vent tube on your Kubota tractor and check it periodically. I try to check mine about twice a year, once in the fall and once in the spring. Typically, that's enough, you know, to get it cleaned out. So anyway, we're going to walk over here on the side of my tractor and I'm going to show you where the vent tube comes out, not from the axle, but where it ends up under the hood. Okay, so follow me around here and we'll check it out. Okay, so around here on the side of the Kubota tractor, this hose coming up right here, this is the hose that comes from the front axle, and it's the vent tube. It hooks into a metal pipe up here that's bent upside down so that water and whatnot cannot run down in there when you're washing the engine or if you're driving around in the rain or something like that. If this hose was just sticking straight up in the air, then stuff could fall down in there. So with it on a 90 like this, you know, stuff's not going to fall down in there. That's not going to keep animals from crawling up inside of this steel pipe. And typically what I've found is they'll build nests inside this steel pipe. Generally, they don't get into this hose because the inside of this steel pipe is smaller in diameter than the inside of this hose. So the way I clean this out, and I mainly concentrate on this steel pipe, is I'll use this right here, this blower that goes on the end of the on the compressor, and typically what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pull this vent hose off of there, and then I'll stick this hose onto there, and this hose has just got a blank end on it, and then we'll come in with the air compressor right in here like this, and we'll just put a little shot in there. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but dirt and debris came out of there just then when I pushed this down. The dirt and debris came right out of there, and so that was a little bit clogged up. We'll go ahead and pull that off, and then we'll put the hose back on there. I don't like to blow down into this hose because if there's any dirt or anything in there, you're going to blow that down into your rear axle. We'll just stick that back up on there. Okay, so down here at the axle, this is the fill plug on the side of the axle for this particular Kubota tractor. If I find that I do need to try to clear out that hose, that vent hose that's coming down to this axle, I'll do one of two things. I'll either trace that hose out to where it hooks in and disconnect it and take it off and blow that hose out like that, or I'll loosen this up and take this plug off where you fill the fluid in there, and then I'll take the air compressor and turn the air pressure way down pretty low, about 10 or 15 pounds, and then put that thing up against there and just blow just a little bit of air through there and see if it don't come out of that vent tube. It should come out fairly easy. You don't want to put too much pressure on it. It is better if you can pull the hose off of the axle and just clean the hose out like that. Okay, so we're at the back of the tractor now, and there's another vent on the back of the tractor for the rear axle. Now on this particular Kubota tractor, we have to raise the seat up, move our slow moving sign out of the way, and right underneath the platform for the seat that has the spring for the seat and everything when you're sitting on it, basically the suspension for the seat. There's 4 bolts that hold that platform on. If you pull them 4 bolts off and pull this whole seat off, you'll get to a vent tube that's underneath there. It's kind of hidden out of the way and it's hard to see. You can't see it with this thing on here, and I only found out about it by accident. I had to take this off. I was doing something, I can't remember what it was, but I was doing something and I had to take the seat off, and I discovered that vent tube and it was clogged up. And so I did the same thing on that. I just pulled the vent tube right off, took the air compressor, blew a little bit of air through there, got the vent tube cleared out and stuck it back on there. I don't clean this one quite as often because it's more difficult to get to. But from time to time, about once a year, I will go ahead and pull this 4 bolts out, take the seat off, get to that vent tube, take it off, inspect it, clean it, and that type of thing. I hope you found this video interesting, and I hope it will help you to do some preventive maintenance on your Kubota tractor. We all know about changing the oil and hydrostatic fluid and that type of thing, but these little tips and everything will really help you to not end up with a problem where you've got a leaky front axle and that type of thing. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel, and thank you so much for taking your time to watch my videos.
Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.